everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm looking at a dragon that I feel is the best one that they've created so far on screen in the A Song of Ice and Fire world, and that's the one and only Caraxes. When I first saw the way that they designed him on the show, it was an early sign to me that the series was going to do the dragons justice. He had a very unique look in the books, and they perfectly presented him on House of the Dragon. Now, in this video, I'm going to be giving a background on him, but I'm going to steer clear of spoilers for anything beyond what we've seen so far through season 1 of the show. So let's dive in. Caraxes was born in the dragon pit. It's been said that after the creation of the pit, that due to its confining nature, that the dragons hatched there didn't have the same size and toughness as those born outside of it, like Balerion, Vagar, and Meraxes. But Caraxes was one that broke the mold in terms of his ferocity. He was nicknamed the Blood Wyrm, and this was due to his blood red coloring and because of his long neck, lean torso, and serpentine look. Even when he was young, the dragon keepers were wary of him and described him as being fierce. Now, there are three different types of dragons that the Targaryens have. The first are the dinosaur types because they grow to be the largest ones. Dragons like Balerion and Vagar fall into this category. Then you have those that have a horse like aspect to their heads. Caraxes is one like that. They're dragons that are more for traveling than warfare. And then finally, there are the wolf like dragons that are more savage and predatory. This is the category that Caraxes falls under. Yet, even as a wolf like dragon, Caraxes' shape is unique. He was deformed and wouldn't be able to fly if he didn't have smaller wings on his hind legs that provide him stability in the air. What's funny too is that overall, those wings on the hind legs, they enhance his mobility to an extent. It's what makes his takeoff so rare and extraordinary. He also seemingly needs less space than most dragons when taking to the air. Caraxes' first rider was Aemon Targaryen, the son of King Jaehaerys and Queen Alysanne. When he was 17 years old, Aemon, who was then the heir to the Iron Throne, claimed Caraxes in the dragon pit. Aemon said of Caraxes, "He loves to burn." Being that this is part of a dragon's nature anyway, it says a lot about Caraxes. Aemon would often fly above King's Landing on Caraxes with his brother Balon on Vagar and his sister Alyssa on Meleys. In 83 AC, Morian Martell became Prince of Dorne after his father's death. Martell felt that his father had been a coward during the Third Dornish War, so he decided he was going to undo all of that by putting forces together. He recruited from Myr and the Stepstones with a plan to invade Storm's End. This took him about a year to assemble, and because of that, King Jaehaerys became aware of Martell's intentions and was able to prepare himself. Aemon on Caraxes, along with his father on Vermithor and his brother Balon on Vagar, descended upon the 100 ships in Morian's fleet and completely devastated them. And the Fourth Dornish War ended on that day and was known as the War of the 100 Candles due to the burning of all those ships. So Caraxes saw his first real battle over 40 years before the events we just saw in Season 1 of House of the Dragon. 8 years after the War of the 100 Candles, there was another conflict. After a civil war in Myr, the losers invaded Tarth, taking over the eastern side of the Isle. Jaehaerys knew it wouldn't take much to drive them out of there. So with Aemon on Caraxes, along with Corlys's fleet, and some of Borman Baratheon's men, they felt they would be more than enough to do the job. Unfortunately for Aemon, though, some Myrish scouts found their camp. Some believed they located it due to seeing Caraxes' flames. But Aemon was struck with a bolt and died. It was said that Caraxes was eating goats at the time of his rider's death. To be fair, he wasn't just sitting there snacking and watching Aemon die. He was in a different area at the time. Incidentally, Aemon is the father of Rhaenys, who was already married to Corlys at the time of her father's death. 13 years later, Caraxes would bond with his next rider, as Daemon Targaryen would claim his uncle Aemon's dragon. And this is where Caraxes became extremely battle-tested. The war for the Stepstones was much more extensive and longer lasting than what we saw on the show. This is something that went on for 9 years. So when we enter the Dance of the Dragons period, Caraxes has had a lot of experience. One thing that was left out on the show is that Daemon would often go flying with Bela on Vagar, which they did show, just the two of them, but in the books it was also with Rhaenyra on Cyrax. This is something we lost due to all the time skips, although when Rhaenyra and Daemon met again, they made it seem as if they hadn't been in contact for many years. Another unique aspect of Caraxes is his roar. The creators said that they made it so distinct due to his long neck. It doesn't have the same resonance as you would with a dragon like Vagar. And finally, the bond between Caraxes and Daemon is another one of my favorite aspects. It's likely the closest one of any dragon and rider on the show, probably only rivaled by the one Dany had with Drogon. Not only does Caraxes know when to arrive as he did on the bridge at Dragonstone when Daemon was being challenged by Otto, but he also feels the same pain as his rider as he did in the Stepstones when Daemon was wounded with an arrow. So that's my rundown of Caraxes up to the point we're currently at in the show. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're interested in more House of the Dragon and A Song of Ice and Fire content, as always, listen to Caraxes and subscribe. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I'll see you soon.